Alright, this is my game. This game is it's called Tactic Legends. This is 2.0. Version 2.0 comes with a couple different things. As you can tell now, take this guy for instance. Now, it's got actual symbols. These X's are actual swords. It's kind of hard to tell, but there you go. Those are swords. Swords mean they're melee monsters. I'll get to that in a second. You can see that this monster has 60, I call them life points. So Overseer, 60 life points. He's a brute, so that just means he's just a stronger monster. He's a fire guardian. This gives it a little bit more descriptive. This is called an instant power. I'll get to that in a little bit as well. That's his melee attack. He uses fire axe. It does 30 damage. And down here we can see that this monster right here is a level 2. He's got strength of, this is a nature symbol, and I'll get to that in a second. And that just means he does double damage to nature monsters. And right here you can see that he's got a shield, and that shield has a 2 right next to it. That means that the enemy monster attacking him has to roll a 2 or higher in order for him to damage this Overseer. So it's kind of easier to hit him, but he's got some kind of defense mechanism to just help him out and aid him through the battle. Alright, so in this game we have different types of monsters, as I was saying. And the different type of monsters are, there's fire, water, nature, air, lightning, machine, ice, sun, space, magic, undead, and rock. Yeah, that's quite a few different monster types, and there's 12 actually altogether. This just kind of gives the game just more of a feel to different types of elements into the game, to where this monster will do this much more damage to this monster or vice versa. It just keeps the game a little bit more fun. Alright, so as I was saying before, we got different types of monsters, and then we've also got different skilled monsters. These different skilled monsters show right here. Again, those are swords. That means it's a melee monster. And I'll get into the gameplay in a second. This will just be a different, skilled monsters. Melee monsters can only attack melee monsters. So, indicated, you can see the swords. This is a ranged monster, you can tell by the bow, and the ranged monsters can attack only one person, but anybody, melee, other ranged monsters, or even magic users. So melee can attack melee monsters and magic users, and range can attack everybody on the field. Alright, and these are magic users, and you can tell that by the little fireball there. And magic users attack all enemies on the field all at once. These still can, have to go through the shield process, but these monsters cannot be countered. So that's kind of, a cool thing about these guys. Alright, as I said before, we're going to talk about instant powers. Instant powers is that sentence that's underneath brute and dragon. Instant powers happen as soon as you place a monster onto the field. In this case, it's shock chains, which does not allow the enemy to draw a card on his next turn. Now, all monsters with an instant power are usually different. They alter the game in many different ways, whether it's effects or damage, or even in this case, affects the enemy. So that's, nice to keep in mind. Alright, and some monsters are, you can see that this is a melee monster due to those double swords again. And right here, you see a scroll. Those scrolls mean it's a skill. Now, these skills can do various things, do different effects, do different damage, do just different things to the field themselves. So, usually on some skills, you'll see dice, and then that's indicated by a number. So this move right here will take 2 dice to roll an 8 or higher. Unlike this skill right here, offering, that doesn't take any dice to roll, and as soon as you use that move, that completes your turn. Each move is just one turn, but offering, you don't need to roll any dice. And all skills will negate the enemy's shield. So again, with version 2.0, we also have artifacts. Now, I've gone from 5 artifacts to only 3 different types of artifacts. This one, instead of aid, we just have health, and then we still have spells, and then we've got equipment. Equipment is weapons, your armor. Spells do all sorts of different things, and then health will aid your monster throughout the remainder of the game. Alright, and as I said before, now there's different levels, just like in the first game, but this one's a little bit easier to tell. Now, in this game, I'll get into this in a minute, but when you defeat an enemy, you have a choice. And your choice is to pick up a prize card, which that's the thing I'll get to in a second, or you level up. So on the field, you will always have a level 1 card. If you do not, you will always keep discarding cards and going through your deck until you get a level 1 to put it on the field. So we got a level 1 cards, we got level 2 cards, level 3, level 4, level 5, and now the special thing about level 5 cards, or even some other cards, but this one in particular, is right here we got that little card right down at the bottom next to those stars. Now that means sacrifice. Now you need to, you would have your hand, 5 cards in hand. So if I wanted to put this guy out, I would have to make sure I was a level 5, plus I would have to sacrifice 1 card. So I would take a card from my hand and I put it in the discard pile. And then for this game, we have level 6, and this is the only level 6 that's in this game, and it's the Destroyer. Extremely powerful card, really cool card, just need a high level. Alright, and this is how the game is going to be set up. As you can see right here, we have the 5 monsters, and that's the max you can have on the field at a time, and your enemies is going to look just like this. Now, we've got the 5 monsters, and right here, we have 6 prizes, and as you can see right over here, you got a discard pile, and then you got your deck. Now these 6 prizes, like I said before, those are your prizes to where every time you beat an enemy monster, you have that choice. Do you want to level up or do you want one of those prizes? Now, in order to beat the game, you have to have all these prizes. You pick up all 6 of those prizes, you win the game. But you just got to keep in mind, you need to level up because your enemy will also be leveling up or having that choice to level up or pick up one of his prizes. So if this guy's got level 3 monsters coming out, these level 3 monsters are no joke and will start just cranking down on you, starting to kill you. Now let's take a look right here at the battlefield again. This is how the battlefield is going to be set up, and like I said, you're going to have a total of 5 on the field, or 5 or less. Now you've got my 2 melee, you have melee monsters all up at the front, and right here I've got a melee monster here, a melee monster here, and this is a magic user. Magic users are always going to be up in the front, but like I said, magic users will also damage all enemies all at once. Right here, we've got ranged monsters. Ranged monsters are always going to be tilted sideways just so everybody knows, hey, these guys are ranged monsters. I can't attack them unless I have another ranged monster out or a magic user who can do damage to them. So that's how this is going to be set up. And then this monster, what will happen on your turn is each one of these monsters will attack. And you could just put them down. Once you put them down, they're already attacking. It's not like other trading card games where, oh, I have to wait my turn, my monster's got summoning sickness. No, that's not going to happen this time. As soon as it's your turn, you can put monsters down, and then you can attack. Now, if you attack and then put monsters down, then you have to wait until next turn. So just keep in mind, this is how that's going to go. So if I kill a monster, and then I can level up, and I have a level 2 in my hand, and I can put him down, well, that monster's going to have to wait until next turn. Only in the beginning of your turn can you attack or put down a monster and then an attack. But you cannot attack, kill, and then put some more monsters down. Also on your turn, you can also use artifacts, and your health artifacts and your equipment artifacts you can only use on your turn, but spell artifacts you can use anytime during the game. So that's just another fun thing to keep in mind. Alright, so we're going to do a little attack here. Goblin Sappers is going to attack the Steel Golem. I'm just going to go through this pretty quickly. As you can see, he's got a move called Cleave, if you can see that. It does 10 damage to the Steel Golem. The Steel Golem's got 50 damage, or 50 life points. So let's see what happens. Now keep in mind, now Steel Golem has a 3 shield, so let's see how that plays out. Oh, that's a 1. So that means now my Goblin Sappers cannot attack him, so this attack totally misses, and now Steel Golem now has the chance to attack and counter this Goblin Sapper's attack. So being that the Goblin Sappers has 3 shield, I roll a 3. So now I can do 30 damage to Goblin Sappers. So that's kind of cool. So that brings my Goblin Sappers down to, he's got 40, now he's got 10. Now it's my enemy's turn. Since I countered, my enemy gets to go. So the enemy also, like I said before, can use more monsters if he wants to put them down and attack my Goblin Sappers. But let's see how this plays out, and Steel Golem gets a chance to go. So Steel Golem does Iron Fist again, has to roll to see if he can 3 or more. He gets 1. Now Goblin Sappers can counter him, and you see how this plays out.